everyone, I'm Ethan with Awaken Catholic, and this is Awaken the Saint. Life doesn't go according to plan. Anyone could tell you that, but few are more qualified than today's saint, Richard Pampuri, who might have become a doctor of the church, but ended up a plain old doctor. Though he is best known as Richard, the saint would not receive this name until much later in his life. He was born Erminio Pampuri in 1897. He had a somewhat unstable childhood, losing both of his parents before he was a teenager and ending up in the guardianship of his aunt and grandparents. Erminio's sister became a nun, and he felt called to become a missionary priest. However, his relatives were concerned that he wouldn't survive the rigors of travel since he was frail and prone to illness. They encouraged him to become a doctor, and inspired by his uncle, who was in that profession, he agreed to pursue medicine as his career. He committed himself to his studies, eventually moving to Pavia to further his education. While in Pavia, he joined a group dedicated to serving the poor and became a Franciscan tertiary. He was known for his strong devotion to Mary, and he prayed the rosary earnestly and often. His studies were interrupted in 1917 when he was drafted into World War I and worked in the field hospitals. After a few years, he was discharged and resumed his schooling, graduating with honors in 1921. From there, he spent several years working under his uncle before becoming a recognized practitioner in Morimondo. The young doctor continued to be an active part of his religious community, taking part in many religious groups and providing a great deal of free medical treatment to the poor. He continually sought to deepen his faith and do more for the church community until he eventually realized that he might as well enter in religious life. He joined the Hospitallers of St. John of God in 1927, entering a novitiate and finally taking the religious name Richard. He took his formal vows a year later and was made the director of a dental clinic associated with the order. Unfortunately, his relatives' old fear for his health proved valid. Health issues that had begun during the war flared up again, making his work more difficult with each passing year until he died in 1930 from tuberculosis. After his death, he was celebrated as a holy doctor, and after being officially named as venerable, people began to pray to him in cases of illness. 2 miracles brought about from prayers for his intercession were confirmed in less than a decade. Pope John Paul II first beatified him in 1981, then canonized him in 1989. Sometimes we can't help but look back at our lives and feel a little disappointed. It's natural to think that there are mistakes we could have avoided and things we could have done better. Richard may have felt like he should have become a priest instead of a doctor, especially since he never got to live out his dream of being a missionary. We might wish we could hop in a time machine and redo everything, but we don't really need a time machine because God, who is outside of time, works through us. Just as there are saints from every corner of the earth and in every kind of role, we can lead holy lives wherever we are. Saint Richard Pampuri, pray for us.
Thank you for tuning in to Awaken the Saint. Awaken the Saint is made in partnership by Spoke Street Media and Awaken Catholic.
For more podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.